welcome to another episode of Barbie Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at Barbie, the Pearl Princess. And sadly, this movie is not a pearl, in my opinion. Far from it. It suffers from a lot of pacing issues. Like, the film starts off with like a 7-minute scene where we see Princess Lumina, who doesn't even realize she's a princess at this point in the time of the story because she was kidnapped as a child, using her powers just to show off, basically, with some of her friends around the reef, as they basically play, like, dress up. And honestly, it just feels like a complete waste of time. Like, you could showcase her powers, being used in a more useful scenario, or even casually get dressed or something much quicker and establish, she has powers over pearls. You don't have to spend like 7 minutes on setup on it. It just feels like, it just eats up a good chunk of the movie and doesn't really tell me that much. Plus, it means we don't spend that much time on the more interesting parts of the plot, in my opinion. The king's brother trying to, poison and get rid of him. Like, we're not focusing enough on that angle or Lumina's development as a character, because it doesn't feel like she really gets much, because she's just a resourceful princess, like, right from the get-go. Albeit not knowing she is a princess for, like, almost the entire film.
And what about you? Hairstylist by day, princess by night?
Princess? Who, me? I'm the furthest thing from a princess.
Now who's joking?
Because that comes out, near the very end of the movie when her mom comments like, "Oh, you can manipulate the pearls." Like, that's the power of the royal family. That means you're our daughter that's been missing for over a decade and a half, and we thought was dead. Because the person she thought was her aunt was actually her kidnapper, who was supposed to get rid of her on Kelgo's orders. I think that was his name. Honestly, the brother character, just doesn't have enough scenes to really establish his menace, in my opinion. Like, we get to see him be abusive towards his son, but we don't really see that much from him that, establishes, like, cunning, or he's very good at being manipulative. Honestly, I'm surprised the king himself can't see through him, because he's pretty paper thin, as far as being able to hide his evil schemes. The only way he can make it more obvious is he said, "to your health," before drinking from a goblet or something,
To your health.
So yeah, I just don't have high opinions about the plot of this one. It's predictable, it's not well executed, it plods along way too much. About the only upside this film has is the visuals, because it's a rather colorful world, at least, that they're existing in, but I don't know if that's really enough to save it, in my opinion. I mean, it's not the worst way to pass time, but I can't imagine it be a fun film for the adults in the room.
Splish, splash, the water's perfect!
Because there's just not that much, in terms of, like, adult jokes or entertainment. In fact, I found myself pretty bored throughout most of the film, and found myself kind of pacing my room, tossing a baseball while just trying to get through it, Like, I gotta take a momentary break and, chuck my ball a bit. Then come back and be exposed to more, poorly paced, poorly told story. So, yeah, it's definitely one I don't want to ever come back to again. It just doesn't have the magic, in my opinion. Till next time, then. See ya.